Welcome, class, to our test review for Unit 9 Geometry, where we studied perimeter, area, and volume. To get started, let's talk about what the formulas are for perimeter, area, and volume of a rectangle. Why are we reviewing these formulas? Because you are going to need to use these on the test. You also can use your notes on the test, or if you're watching this video just before the test, take out a scratch piece of paper and you can write these down now so that you can refer to them on the test. Perimeter. Remember that perimeter is the distance around an object. So to find perimeter, we have to add up length plus width plus length plus width. So perimeter equals 2 lengths, the order doesn't matter, and 2 widths. If you're given only 1 length and 1 width, you just double them. Area of a rectangle, that's the amount of space that it takes to cover up the object, whether it's with paint or tiles. So how do you find the area, or how many little 1 by 1 squares there are? Well, we take the length times the width. We only need 2 parts, 1 length and 1 width. Now volume, remember, is for a 3-dimensional shape, like a box or a cube. So here we're going to need length times width, that's area, but we need to go one more dimension, which is back, so we're also going to use our height. Now triangles are slightly different when it comes to area, but not so different when it comes to perimeter. Remember, a triangle is, So this question says find the perimeter of this rectangle. So going back again, and if you didn't write these down, you might want to write them down for the test. If you're in class, they may or may not be on the board, so you may want to write them down. Perimeter is 2 lengths plus 2 widths. But we're only given 1 length and 1 width. I'm missing 2. Oh yeah, they're the same. So 9. 9 plus 6 plus 9 plus 6. I'm traveling all the way around. I'm going to use my calculator like I can on everything else, and I end up with a perimeter of 30 feet. 30 feet around the whole rectangle. Next question. Calculate the perimeter of this shape. Well, didn't we say that perimeter is where we add all the sides? Let me just double check. Oh yeah, add up all the sides. Good thing we wrote that down. So I'm going to add these. I'm going to add 10, cross it off so I can keep track, plus 12, plus 20, cross it off, plus 4. This is my strategy. I'd recommend that you use this strategy too. Since there's a few 10s out there, we don't want to forget one of them or use an extra one. And let's use our calculators to add this up. When I hit enter, I'm going to make sure that I have the same number of sides here as I have numbers on my calculator. I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 sides, 6 numbers here. I get the answer of 64. Again, we're traveling around, so we're dealing with 64 feet. Uh-oh, area. I don't remember area. Did I write it down in my notes? Do I need to look back at the first sheet here? Area of a rectangle, length times width. Good thing you wrote it down. Length. Let's say the length, we can choose either number. I'm going to choose on this one. I'm going to say length is 16, and let's say the width backwards is 11, but I could use them interchangeably. Area, I write this down again. always write it down on my sheet before I do it, just to double check. 16 times 11, 16 times 11 is 176. 176. But area, again, fills up this whole thing with little squares. So I'm going to say 176 inches with a little 2 here, squared. Or we could write it or type it on our calculator with the little caret 2 to mean squared. Find the perimeter and area of this triangle. Well, perimeter, remember, I add up all the sides, length, all the lengths. So 12 plus 13 plus 5. Take my calculator. And I get 30 millimeters if I travel around. One of the things that I like to do to help me think about how to find an area of a triangle, if I didn't write it down, is I like to make my triangle into a rectangle, because I know that's always length times width. And when I do that, I notice that I'm not trying to find this spot. I only need this spot. What are my two outside numbers? See how 13 is in the middle of the rectangle? 12 and 15. 12 and 5. I'm sorry, not 15, 12 and 5. Those are the two numbers I need to find area. Area equals length times width. But with a triangle, it's half of a rectangle, so I need to divide it by 2. So when I write that, I'm going to substitute my numbers in here. 12 times 5 divided by 2. Well, 12 times 5 is 60. When I cut 60 in half, like I cut the rectangle in half, I get 30. Now it's area, so that's filling it up with little squares, so it's millimeters squared. Let's move on. Oh, volume. I don't remember volume. Good thing, my friends, I know that you went back and have already wrote this down. Volume is length times width times height. And you've already got that written down again today on your scratch paper, so you can use it on our assessment. Length, width, and height. Sometimes on the paper I also like to write length, width, and height to remind me that I need all of this information to find volume. So let's just say that length is 5 today. And we'll call width 14, but we can use these all interchangeably. It doesn't matter because we're multiplying. And 8. What do I do with these numbers? That's right, volume is length times width times height. So 5 times 14 times 8. And I believe I get a number like 560 feet cubed. That's supposed to be an FT there. That's how many little cubes, like dies, could fit in here. Next question. It looks like a word problem question. There's a chance I'm going to have to work backwards on this one. So I'm going to try to keep track of all the information that's written here. So we've been using length and width and height. So I wrote it right here. L, W, I don't see an H, so I'm not going to use it. Mr. Benson wants to seal his driveway to protect it from the elements. If the total area is 800 feet squared, what's that 800 feet for? Is it length? Is it width? No, it's area. So I write it right there. Width is 16 feet. That goes down here. What is the length? They're not telling me the length, so I'm going to put a question mark. Now, I'm going to take my information and substitute it at the top here. So this is how you should do it. Do what I do. I'm going to write the formula again. Area equals length times width. And then I'm going to go through and I'm going to rewrite my information. I see that A equals 800. So where the A is, I'm going to write an 800 equals. My L is a question mark, so I'm just going to leave it as an L. And my W is a 16, so I'm going to write a 16. See how I've written it over this? I can erase the old information just so that it's not confusing as we do this problem. Now we're going to work backwards. Remember, when I have a letter here that I'm looking for, and I am, it says, what is the length? So that's the question. I need to work backwards. So really what I have here is 16L equals 800. Maybe I should write it like that so it's more apparent to you. 16L equals 800. I need to find out what L is, so I need to get the L alone. So 16 times L, I need to do the opposite. Opposite of times is divide. That's a 1, so the L is alone. 800 divided by 16. Mr. Benson, use your calculator. Oh yeah, the calculator. That's right. That's a hint. I want you to use your calculator too. 800 divided by 16. 800's on top, so it goes in the calculator first. I get the answer of 50. 50 what? 50 feet. So it looks like Mr. Benson's width of his driveway is 16 feet. Its length is 50 feet, so when he goes to buy driveway sealer, he needs to buy enough to cover an area of 800 feet squared. Good luck on the test. Remember to use your calculator, the note sheet or scratch paper that you've made. Have a good day.